session, and our speaker going to talk about a very, very important topic around us, disability and mental health. We could not have done this session without touching on mental health in an in-depth manner. And our moderator for tonight is Rotarian Dr. Aderonke. She's from USA, Nigeria, and she's also the vice president of our club. And our speaker is Dr. Sylvie, also USA, Cameroon. Over to you, and let's hear what you have to share on mental health and disability.
Thank you so much, Mr. Home. Can you all hear me? Can you hear me? Hello, everyone, and welcome. Welcome. I'm excited about this global summit. What an incredible experience, we've had, in the past 2 days, 2 powerful days of another wonderful Rotary Club of World Disability Advocacy Inclusive Education Summit. This is amazing. We've learned, we've reflected, connected, we've shared stories with so many passionate educators, advocates, change makers from around the world. Thank you so much. Each session has reminded us that learning is continuous, and that true inclusion begins when we recognize and celebrate the value in every person's story and potential. I just really enjoyed the story. It is a pleasure to meet you all. I just thought to just let you know on this platform and to be the moderator for this final session, which I'm excited about. Again, I'm Dr. Aderonke Adejuyigbe, and I serve as co-president of this amazing Rotary Club of World Disability Advocacy, alongside with our wonderful founder, Mr. Kenneth Mason, and an incredible team of board members who share a deep passion for inclusion and advocacy. So just to give you a glimpse of who I am, I live in Southern California, and I'm also, I'm also a Nigerian. So I've had the privilege of serving individuals with intellectual and developmental disabilities and their families for more than 30 years. You're probably wondering, wow, my background is in service coordination, case management, Medicaid waiver programs in the States, including person-centered and self-determination practices. And I am passionate about people living a meaningful life, self-directed lives. It doesn't matter what your disability is, you deserve to live a quality life. This work is also very close to my heart because I have a sister with cerebral palsy and intellectual disabilities. My sister's journey continues to inspire my commitment to helping others see ability beyond disability. And that is why I'm passionate about, helping with this and moderating this session. On that note, it is time for us to meet our distinguished speaker, panelist. Her name is Dr. Sylvie Claire Nguena. I hope I pronounced your name correctly, Dr. Sylvie. She is a licensed board-certified behavioral analyst, also known as BCBA, and founder of Leeward Behavioral Health Services here in Maryland. She is a global advocate providing culturally responsive behavioral support to adults with autism and their families across the US and Africa. Dr. Sylvie is also a board member for the ARC in Maryland and the author of Marvelous Meghan, our big sister, I'm sorry about that, a beautiful story celebrating inclusion and understanding of autism. She recently graduated with a PhD in applied behavioral analysis from the Chicago School, where her research explored acceptance and commitment training for African immigrant parents of children with autism. She is a tireless advocate for her daughter, Meghan, who has profound autism and intellectual disability. Dr. Sylvie bridges cultures and inspires change through her leadership, research, and storytelling. Dr. Sylvie, welcome, and thank you for being with us today.
Thank you so much, Dr. Aderonke, for that kind introduction. I am truly honored to be part of this important conversation today. It's been 2 great days of learning a lot of great information about inclusion, and I want to thank the Rotary Club World Advocacy Inclusion for this wonderful summit on education. It's a privilege to join so many passionate advocates and educators, policy makers, community members, and families to share the vision of inclusion. Um, I'm very, very happy about what I've learned so far and about what we're going to be discussing today as we explore how acceptance and commitment therapy, person-centered thinking, and self-determination can shape inclusion. And also, my hope is that together we can continue to challenge stigma, celebrate diversity, and build communities where every person, every human being, regardless of their ability, truly belongs. So thank you again for having me, and I'm excited to begin the conversation.
Thank you so much, Dr. Sylvie. So we will have 4 segments here, and I promise you it's going to be exciting. So we will first explore how storytelling, something at the heart of Dr. Sylvie's art, can help us reshape perceptions of disability. And our first segment is going to focus on storytelling and shifting perceptions. So to start our conversation, Dr. Sylvie, based on your personal and professional experiences, how can personal stories and lived experiences be used to challenge negative perceptions and redefine disability as strength and resilience?
All right, that is a great question. So I am a mother of 3 beautiful girls. I'm originally from Cameroon. I was born in Cameroon and came over in the US as an international student. And truly, my advocacy journey began with my oldest daughter, Meghan, that you see here on the left side of the slide. Meghan was diagnosed with autism at the age of 4. And a few years later, she also got a diagnosis of intellectual disability. Meghan actually just turned 20 last Wednesday. She's a big girl now. When she was diagnosed with autism, this was my first encounter with autism, and that was back in 2009. Before that, I've never heard of a person with autism, nor did I see anyone with autism in my community. Even during the diagnosis process, when they say autism, I actually thought about ear infection. If you speak French, you will know that ear infection in French is otite, and French is my primary language. So I kind of wonder, why had I never heard about autism before? Why is anyone in my community not talking about this? And when I start talking about Meghan's diagnosis, I realized that actually there are people in my communities that have autism. And the question was, why are we not talking about it? Why people not talking about autism? Why people not talking about other disabilities? So with that diagnosis, I decided that I wanted to share the story. I wanted to talk about it. Raising Meghan and meeting her needs was also very challenging because I didn't have any guidance. I didn't know how or who I can go to. And from that moment, I made a life-changing decision. So I went to change my career. I was formerly a certified public accountant working for a major bank out in the US. So I decided to change career and go become a board certified behavior analyst through special education, through understanding how to support people like Meghan and family like mine. And through the experience, I've learned that sharing our stories can transform how people view disability. When families speak openly about their experiences, the challenges, but also the love, the growth, and the joy, we help other people see beyond the limitation. I mean, when you look at Meghan's beautiful pictures, you don't see any limitation there, right? You see a radiant girl just being happy. So we begin to recognize the strengths, the resilience, the creativity that comes with different ways of being. And instead of focusing on what a person cannot do, we can start focusing on how to provide the right support, the right accommodation, and to foster inclusion and belongings. So disability should not be seen simply as a deficit, but as a reflection of our diversity, courage, and strength.
Right.
That is what led us and inspired us to write Marvelous Meghan, Our Big Sister. This book was written by myself and my 2 other daughters. It is an illustrated book created to celebrate differences and remind others that every story is also a story of love, of growth and possibility. It's not just about disability. The book has been translated, of course, because we want access to multiple languages. You know, you see the title there in French and in English, but it is also translated in German, in Spanish, and we have the Italian version coming out. We want access. That's part of making sure that everybody has access to the information. Awareness. This has been discussed throughout the summit. Our journey also led us to the creation of the Marvelous Meghan Foundation. And I like how one of the previous session, Miss Monica Daniels talks about Special Olympics and how it was created. She reminded us that siblings involvement is very important. Eunice Kennedy wanted her sister to be included and involved. And today we talked about Special Olympics. So to us, this was a model. That's how her sisters created a foundation. It's a nonprofit organization that dedicated to raising awareness, promoting acceptance and inclusion of people with disability, and empowering them to thrive and live meaningful life, regardless of their potential. What we see is that we see the value, we see what they are able to do, we see their potential, not their disability. And thanks to the foundation last year, we were able to raise funds to support the education of 22 children with autism in Cameroon. And again, it reminds me of what Ken said this morning, 90% of children with disability are not in school. And a statistic like this is very difficult to accept. How do we challenge that statistic? So through storytelling, we humanize disability and shift the narratives from limitation to possibility. And every story like Meghan's story, like our studies, invite other people to think beyond the labels and into the shared humanities to connect us all. And when we tell stories with honesty and with hope, we challenge stigma. We build empathy and compassion, and we open doors for inclusion. So this is
beautiful, 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 beautiful. Such a powerful reminder that narratives shape understanding. You know, micro narratives, sharing our stories, it does help others to understand, you know, what educators go through, what parents go through, and what the individuals with disabilities, what they go through, what they're going through. So which leads me to my next question. I would like you to please give us an example where storytelling helped shift attitudes in your community, maybe your school or organization.
Thank you, Dr. Aderonke. As I said earlier, when Meghan was diagnosed with autism, I felt that my community was not aware. And this is what led us into writing Marvelous Meghan, our big sister. This summer, we actually had a great opportunity to take Meghan back to Cameroon for the first time since COVID. Meghan, last time she was in Cameroon, she was still very young. So this was the first time to take her back to Cameroon as an adult, which I knew will make people look and wonder, okay, this adult, why does she look different? Visibly, she's just like all of us, but the way that she behaves may make people wonder, why is she doing what she's doing? So this summer, we have that privilege to attend our village cultural festival. And during that festival, we have the opportunity to gather children of the village, and we read to them the book, Marvelous Meghan, Our Big Sisters. And you will see how the children were engaged, how they asked questions. The beauty of that is that Meghan was present. We were not just talking about someone in the book. That character, that main character was present in the room of the children. And the children could see the things that we were reading on the book. Meghan was actually demonstrating it to them, like laughing, running all over. And this was the power of inclusion through storytelling. Afterward, they were given coloring books that we made through the book, and given them the opportunity to color how they envision a world with someone like Meghan. It was very beautiful to see the engagement, you know, to see them laughing, to see them asking questions. Their curiosity and the meaningful conversation that we had with them was very powerful. And the next day in the village, we have this big cultural events where people were present, dancing, and you could see how Meghan was just happy and dancing and playing, and just simply being part of the community and how the community embraced her. So to us, this was very powerful. Awareness creates acceptance, and that acceptance inspires action. And this is how stigma can transform into strength. And now a child who was seen as different is simply just one of us. So I'm gonna play a video. There may not be a sound here, but at least I want you to see what happened during that event in the village in Cameroon.
Thank you.
Sure.
It's a beautiful slide.